as we were cutting across in a quarantine zone, actually, the building began to disintegrate, and we heard it and looked up and started to see elements of the building come down, and we ran, and honestly, it was like a scene out of Independence Day. Everything began to rain down. It was pitch black around us as the winds were whipping through the corridors in Lower Manhattan. I ducked around a corner, got into a car which was open, and it was nighttime for several minutes before things cleared up.
Was this the first tower that collapsed?
I believe it was the first tower that collapsed. This was the South Tower, and as it was coming down, what that looks like there is mild compared to what it was like to be at the center. It was pitch black for blocks.
And was it smoke as well as dust?
It was smoke, it was dust. I assume it was part of the building coming down, and just pieces of a disintegrating building coming down as well.
Obviously, we're very concerned about the triage unit that was set up there to help people who were trying to get out of the building, Ron, to help people who had already been carried out of the building and who were being treated medically. Were you close enough to survey the scene
I was within about half a block of the building as it started to come down.
Can you tell us what you saw
there? It
there?
was fairly clear. There were some areas along the street that did have blood and debris. There were no longer people in the area except for a couple of journalists and police officers who were containing the area so people wouldn't cut through.
And once it did begin to clear after that several minutes of pitch darkness, what did you see in the streets then?
It was a very deep gray smoke. It in honesty looked like a bit of a nuclear winter, the type of thing you see in the movies with ash all over the ground, on top of cars, on police cars, on windows. I made my way into a building because of the one light I could see, and stayed there until a couple of police officers and a few of the people inside the building were able to get into a vehicle. We picked up a few injured people along the way and dropped them off at the hospital.
You did. What were their injuries?
Well, one policeman had a deep gash in his forehead. He was all right. He was clearly, a bit shocked, and the young lady had shrapnel in her arm. Don't know what it was, whether it was part of a building or glass from another building.
Was there a lot of peripheral damage to other buildings?